Welcome to the Synthetic Electron 3D channel. Alright, wait. Don't go anywhere. It's not another Carvera Air unboxing video. Trust me, we've got a real project. But this has been a long time coming, so let me give you a little background first, and then we'll jump right into it. Back when my channel was just a baby, back in August 2025, Makera reached out. They asked if I would feature their Carvera Air desktop CNC in a video if they sent me one. I said yes, but not the typical unboxing video with creators running a few examples and calling it good. No, I was going to make a Centauri Carbon mod. Of course, this doesn't sound too surprising coming from me, right? But what was I going to make? How could I make something of value, not just for me, but my viewers as well? The Carvera Air arrived in mid-September. But, as some of you know, shortly thereafter I was hospitalized and then subsequently diagnosed with a rare but treatable cancer. Like a stick in the front spokes of a bicycle, you could say this threw me off for a while. After some time, I managed to make the original missing toolhead LED video, and it turned out to be pretty popular. People were even asking if I had plans to put up a board on my store. Meanwhile, I had this Carvera Air sitting around and a commitment to Makera. Now, CNC is something I had been interested in for some time already because the subtractive process allows for a wide array of materials with strength advantages in many applications. I like to think of it as completing the maker's toolbox, and the subtractive CNC process can pick up where 3D printing or additive processes leave off. Since we're talking about PCBs today, there is conductive filament that can be used in 3D printers, but none of it conducts nearly as well as pure copper. You can't 3D print pure copper, at least not in my lab. Makera had included some FR4 PCB with the kit, so the mod idea became to make a real functional prototype that some of the more adventurous modders might actually buy in a DIY kit, and then I could take that design and further refine it for a more general hobbyist upgrade in the future. This isn't about the specifics of how you do desktop CNC, but more about what you can do with it, how you can use it to enhance your 3D printing hobby, make real products, or maybe just spark interest in something new that you add to your workflow later on. In case you haven't seen the original video, the project involved the daughter board that connects to the main toolhead PCB. It resides right underneath the toolhead and allows for the connection to the hot end as well as the heat break fan. So why might I want to replace the entire daughter board PCB or cover it up with a mezzanine? Well, first of all, I wanted some flexibility on LED placement, but I also wanted to have more than one LED. In addition, you may find that the connections are a little bit awkward with the hot end, and I wanted to improve on that as well. At the same time, I wasn't quite ready to just whip up some Gerbers to send over to PCBWay because I wanted to get a little hands-on time fitting a board, because that'll give me some idea about how I want to design that final PCBWay board to make it the best it can be. Working with the Carvera Air kind of gives me that quick turnaround time to have a part that fits really clean, much like the final PCBWay version will. And so that really helps in the development process, I think, which makes desktop CNC kind of ideal for this situation. Since this isn't intended to be a step-by-step guide on desktop CNC, I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but I think a brief overview may be useful. CNC, or computer numerical control, is a new workflow for me, so let's make that clear. Conceptually, it is similar to 3D printing, but slicers aren't involved, and there's an extra step that doesn't directly translate to 3D printing. Here's how it breaks out. There's CAD, which we're all familiar with, common to 3D printing, but then there's CAM, which CAM stands for computer-aided manufacturing, and that is considered the plan. What tools are we going to use? When are we going to use them? What's the order of operations? Things like that. Then you have CNC, which is the actual execution of the tool path. And So you could say that CNC is analogous to slicers in 3D printing, but CAM doesn't really have a functional equivalent in 3D printing. And CAM is coincidentally where most people get frustrated when they're coming from 3D printing. CAM usually requires an additional module in your CAD software or a separate piece of software entirely. Makera provides one. I'm using FreeCAD in this instance, and it has a separate workspace for CAM. So it's a new workflow, has a learning curve, is not exactly for beginners. I would say CAM is somewhat less intuitive than your average slicer. But if you're willing to put in the time and effort, I would say that it's well worth it for the options it will open up to you as a hobbyist or a maker. Before I go on, note that I will make the CAD and CAM files available at a link in the description. Now that we know the what and the why, let's get into the details on this prototype mezzanine board that I've been working on. Thanks to some helpful feedback from the community, I was able to design this board so you can use it with either G-code or with ground always on mode. I was able to verify that the hardware is there in the form of a 100 ohm resistor connected to a MOSFET, which is in turn connected to the microcontroller on the toolhead. So if you can find where it's exposed in the firmware, G-code should easily be able to control it. And this is something I may follow up with in a comment or a subsequent video. The resistor selected for the ground trace was intended to roughly match the MOSFET control. That means LEDs should be similarly bright either way you connect them. But if you're not going to use the ground method and use only LED minus, don't add the 100 ohm resistor to the ground trace. Leave that disconnected and then bridge the connection between LED minus and the ground trace on the top left of the board. A 0 ohm resistor or a short jumper wire works great for this. For a solid electrical and mechanical connection of the mezzanine board to the daughter board, you'll need to extend the pins from the back of the daughter board slightly above where the mezzanine board will ultimately sit. If you don't do this, you'll run into problems. Please don't ask me about it. Technically, only 2 of the pins need to be extended, but doing ground, LED minus, and 5 volt adds additional mechanical stability to the connection. Now, hopefully before you started this, you turned off the printer. If not, go back in time and do that now. But seriously, you'll anger the printer if you're installing this board while it's on. So turn it off, and it's probably safer too. Secure the NTC heater and heat break fan connectors into the board before you insert the header into the tool head. Once that's done, you can use the OEM screw, which is about 7.3 millimeters long, and it will work to fasten both the mezzanine and the daughter board in place. From there, you should be able to slide an OE cover on as long as you didn't go overboard with the solder and you kept your pins low profile. If you're using one of my covers or one of the remixes, it's unlikely that you'll have an issue because there's more clearance down there. From here, you're ready to power up. Now, if you're just connecting to ground for an always on light, then during boot, the light will come on and it'll stay on. If you're using the MOSFET, then you'll need to figure out what G-code you're going to use to turn it on, because there is not a menu option in the stock firmware. Keep in mind this is for experimental use. There are no safety certifications or anything like that. This is part of the reason I went with the more conservative LEDs, but if you decide to use different LEDs, just be mindful of wattage. Don't rely on the firmware to catch it. Avoid exceeding 1 watt and target 0.8 watts or less. There are plenty of bright LEDs that will operate in that range. This kit will be offered on my store, but it is not intended for beginners. This is more of an intermediate level kit. Those who decide to support the channel by buying one will get priority in terms of feedback for the upcoming PCBWay version. I want community involvement because there's no way that I'm going to think of everything. I expect that those of you who gain some hands-on experience with this one will have especially valuable feedback for me on the upcoming PCBWay version. So I look forward to hearing from you on that. Even though it's been a long time coming, I have enjoyed the journey of learning the CNC process with the Makera Carvera Air. While I think it's too soon to pass judgment on the Carvera Air as a general purpose desktop CNC because I don't have anything to compare it to really, I do feel like it's a good entry point for desktop CNC. It's not exactly refined, it is a little rough around the edges, but that's mostly in a cosmetic sense. The parts that really matter seem pretty solid. I'm already getting excited about developing the next mod that can benefit from the CNC process. That's not part of my near-term plans. However, I think it's safe to say that the Carvera Air is going to have a place on my workbench for quite a while yet. That is to say, you'll see it on the channel again, not as core content, but as an augment to my core content. Thanks to Makera for providing the Carvera Air used in this video. If you are interested in the Carvera Air or any of their products, there will be links in the description. You can further support the channel by using them. Consider subscribing so you don't miss content like this in the future. Thank you for all your support. Thanks for watching, and I will see you